So I did a video a while back titled Why Antony Martial is a Theoretical Baller. I'll leave it linked in the description if you do want to check out that video. But the basic premise of that video was that on paper, Antony Martial has it all. He's a striker very much in the mode of Thierry Henry. He's got pace, he's got the ability to drop deep and link play. He's a fantastic finisher, excellent composure. He's got wonderful ball control in tight areas. And he's really a fantastic mixture of a centre forward but also a winger. And if you're just looking at pure ability, Antony Martial, without doubt, even at this stage of his career when he's 27, has the ability to become one of the best centre forwards in world football. However, like with so many players before, it's not all down to just ability. This season alone, Martial has missed a total of 18 games and we're barely past the halfway mark. He missed 6 games for Manchester United in the first half of last season before his loan move to Sevilla, and the season before in 2020-2021 he missed a total of 17 games. And so most of the time when judging Antony Martial, people are judging him on the 2019-2020 season when he scored 17 goals in 32 Premier League games, but since then his career has been very stop-start. Now I don't want to put all of the blame on Antony Martial as I'm not a doctor, so I don't know the exact reasons why he keeps having recurring injury problems. But for me, it doesn't really matter why he keeps getting injured. All that counts is that United aren't getting enough of him on the pitch. And at the end of the day, when assessing a player's value to your squad, that is the only thing you can take into account. I think a lot of people overlook that not getting injured, or should I say not getting injured frequently and being available most of the time, is actually a very valuable asset in a player. Players that can consistently play 40-45 games in all competitions a season are always going to have an advantage over players who are only playing say 20-25. And this is especially the case for players who you deem to be key players. And Martial isn't the only player who's had this sort of problem at Manchester United over the last few years. I think this is the main reason why Paul Pogba's Manchester United career will go down as more of a disappointment than a success, because he just could never get a full run in the team over the course of a whole season, and really his Manchester United career was defined by intermittent periods. Pogba really only sustained his peak at Manchester United for maybe 4 or 5 months for the second half of the 18-19 season when Solskjaer replaced Mourinho. And for Martial, it's probably the same for 19-20 during the lockdown COVID period. And this isn't something that only applies to Manchester United players. I would also apply this to Gareth Bale, Dele Alli, and Eden Hazard, who have all gone through their injury troubles, been out for sustained periods, and when looking back at their careers, there's always a feeling of what could have been. Now I will admit that maybe Gareth Bale is a different scenario just because of the amount he won at Real Madrid, but when he first joined Real Madrid from Tottenham back in 2013 for that world record fee, he was undisputably the 3rd best player in the world behind Messi and Ronaldo, and it seemed inevitable that over the next decade he would continue to be the best player after those two, but he seemed to just completely drop off. And when looking back at his career now that he's retired, despite his defining moments definitely being the goals he scored to win Real Madrid trophies, such as the spectacular goals in the Copa del Rey final in 2014 or the overhead kick against Liverpool in 2018, I think most people would agree that his best overall season was that last year at Tottenham in 2012-2013. Now Antony Martial's career certainly isn't over, he only turned 27 in December, so in theory he could go on to have another 5 or 6 successful seasons at an elite level. But after another season that's been completely interrupted by injuries, the question has to be asked, is Martial just unlucky, or is this just a feature of his game? Is he just destined to go down as a player who could have been great but could just never stay on the pitch? And this wouldn't be such a big problem if it wasn't for the fact that Martial's contract expires next summer. Now this means that United this summer are going to have to make a decision to either cut their losses and recoup some of the fee they paid, or keep him for one more season and let him go on a free. I think the option of giving him a new contract has to go completely out of the window unless something dramatically changes, like he manages to stay fit for the rest of the season after he returns and quickly transforms into that top level centre forward that we know he has the potential to be. Ideally for me, I would have Antony Martial as the second choice striker to either someone like Osimhen, Vlahovic or Kane, whoever United decide to bring in the summer. But the issue is, what good is a second choice striker if they are likely to be injured when you actually need them? And so for me, unless something dramatically changes and Martial manages to be consistent on the pitch, which I hope he does, as technically and stylistically he's one of my favourite players at United, I think the logical thing to do in the summer is look to sell him, probably recoup around £15 million I would say, or maybe even offer him as some part of a swap deal to bring in a player who can actually be relied upon, as after all, a player isn't going to be much use to Ten Hag if they aren't on the pitch enough. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that video, I'll leave some others linked in the description. Give the video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you do get notified when my videos are released.